Welcome back here to the Waco Center, here in the Global State College Athletic Department. And another edition of our Coaches Show. Our guest this afternoon is head men's track and cross country coach, Coach Dan Meyers.
Coach, nice to see you.
You was regional week, your first regional week wearing the blue. Tell me about your excitement getting ready to go up here to Lock Haven.
I'm really excited. You know, as a group, you know, the Pioneers haven't traveled up to the regional since 2016, and I think that we're in a year that we took some big leaps forward, and I think the guys are ready for a challenge. You know, they've kind of been prepped for the last few weeks on some of the workouts we've been doing, and doing a little bit of some stuff on some flatter terrain than we were in the middle of the season, just due to, you know, prepping for Lock Haven. You know, kind of a you know, really flat and fast surface, and I think volume-wise they're ready, and I think that they know they just got to put their nose in it and just kind of see what happens. And you know, we have a big goal of trying to finish top 15, and we're just going to see if we can make it happen.
Well, I tell you, going all the way back to 1999, first time, you know, we were up there for a regional. I think this might be the 8th or 9th time, you know, a group I've been affiliated with went up there with you. You saw, you know, when Pinot went to nationals up there. You've seen when that course has ran well, and when, you know, teams have not been able to handle it. You know, tell me, you talked about, you know, some things you've done. Big difference from Ogleby.
Yep.
Big difference from Ogleby about the things you've done both physically and mentally as far as the prep, you know, to prepare them for what's essentially a track meet.
Well, a few things by accident would be like our last Q days have probably been the worst weather days that we've had in the last 2 weeks, and I think that that's kind of prepped for, you know, really getting into the cross country weather of November. And you know, we've done, you know, our last few workouts, and this morning, you know, some of the guys did their workout, and you know, like I said, we've done some more interval style running on the track, and we focused on a little faster paces as we've kind of brought the mileage down. And but I think the weather that we've kind of ran in the last few Q days has really prepared us for you know, what to kind of expect up there. And I know they had a rough week last week, kind of rain wise, so this week they're just hoping the course dries out. And you know, if it doesn't, you know, we're all of our schools in the conference are kind of used to what we kind of ran in up at Ogleby, but obviously Lock Haven's just going to give back to us a little bit more with the flatter surface. And you know, no rolling terrain really at all.
And it's always been a little colder up there, and the course right there on the west branch around the cornfields. And but historically, I know you talked about these goals with the team there at the beginning of the year. There's only been 2 teams since we went NCAA that have been in the top 15 in the region. You certainly have felt from the beginning that this men's team has an opportunity to do that. Is that still the goal going into this?
That's definitely still the goal. You know, and you know, the team and I have kind of looked into, you know, obviously we saw where we kind of fell in the conference, and we felt like there was a few more teams that we could still you know, match up against. I think even in a bigger race, especially if Blake and Bryce, you know, run to their you know, how they've been working out, especially in the last 2 weeks. You know, with the bigger field, I think that can really shake some things up. I think also we kind of looked at the PSAC results, and we've seen some teams that we've kind of seen this year. Indiana, PA was ranked 4th in their conference. You know, we were a good ways back of them at Carnegie, but Cal U was 10th, 11th in their conference, and we were ahead of them at Bethany. So we're just kind of looking at some of the head-to-head matchups, and with those 2 teams kind of, you know, being kind of on the low end and the high end of their conference, I think it can definitely be done.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I know on the women's side now, I know John V's, she went ahead and was preparing for track and wanted to hit some and wanted to get down the 19s. She's really focused on doing that on the track. Sam Dawson is going to run and really try to go for a PR up here. Talk about, you know, some of the semantics of that decision and you know, what you're looking for from Sam.
I think that she kind of hit her stride late in the season, you know, with the mileage and everything, and I think that not even just from the quality days, but from just her regular Monday, Wednesday, Sunday runs, how the pace kept dropping through the year, is that, you know, she felt like she kind of had some unfinished business. And, you know, we ran on some difficult courses where she had good races, just the time didn't come through. You know, the time didn't come through for her. And the only flat race that we've had all year was really the Route 33 Cup where she didn't get to race. Yeah. So, you know, I think that she kind of wanted to see where her fitness truly is in a 6K. And, you know, last week was a really, really good week for her, and we're going to keep progressing. Like I said after the conference recap, I never imagined she'd be that close to John V, kind of 8 spots away from her. So I think that Sam's gonna be a force to reckon with. I think that she's going to provide some leadership to some of the girls that we bring in the future.
Absolutely. I feel like her improvement, that's a really nice piece for you to go recruiting with and hang your hat on there with. Because I know back in July there was, the fight was to get a full women's team and to get in there, and they got in there. We pulled that. You did a great job with that. I know we can't talk about recruits and names and that type of things, in interview settings. But what are you looking for where you're wanting to go with the women's program and the men's program from the distance side?
I think that we're in 2 completely different spots, and I think that the girls that are here can kind of see that if we bring in some of the right pieces, we can kind of propel like the guys team has. The guys team still has a little unfinished business with trying to, work our way into the top half of the MEC, but we were very close this year, and I thought we were kind of a year away, but we were a lot closer than maybe some people were going to give us credit for. On the women's side, I think just getting, 5 to 7 faces in here that that understand the volume, understand what we're trying to do, and then can see how it's worked on the guys. Because at that point, the guys will be through a little over a year and a half, about a year and a half of it. They can see the development. Just having some girls that will come in and buy in, and I think that our trajectory on the girls' side can be a little bit quicker if we can just get girls to come in and understand the volume, and that's nothing against who we have now. We have a lot of track focused girls, and we have some girls that are really new to the sport. So we can mesh kind of what we had this year along with some new faces, and I think we can do that.
Well, definitely, it's going in a good direction. I'm very excited for your race Saturday, and for us to follow up with that, and then we'll get talking about some indoor track.
Absolutely, it's going to be in a month from tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to talking next week.
Me too.